Waterlogged trash that used to be the furnishings and contents of businesses and residences lined Mamaroneck Avenue in Mamaroneck on September 3rd when U.S. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, and New York Governor Kathy Hochul led a contingent of officials who had come to the village to examine storm damage from the remnants of Hurricane Ida. They visited what remained of Bellotta Kitchens and Il Castello Italian restaurant on Mamaroneck Avenue, promising aid for the owners.
Small business loans. Yeah, but there's small business loans available and all kinds of stuff which we can help.
We've been in business a long time. We have a sister restaurant right here, Lenny's, so we're going to transfer all our clients.
Did that get flooded or no?
No, that's in Larchmont.
It's on Boston Post Road.
Yeah, Boston Post
You're
Road.
coming back, right?
Yes, of course we're coming back, stronger than ever.
Yeah.
We'll take a lot of time, but we'll be here.
They chatted with local volunteers who had set up a table in the park across the street to offer food, clothing, and other basics and services to those local residents affected by the storm and flooding that swamped part of the village's downtown.
I was on a call yesterday with the Community Coalition, and we put out the information today. I emailed all the information of all the goods and services that were needed, and I know that people are collecting them today at St. Thomas's Church, and that's going along really well, and I'll keep promoting it. And I know this community very well, and resources like that are not going to be a problem. It's the most generous community around. You all know that. We've been here a long time.
And there's lots, we have increased money for food banks and for SNAP and for all of that, so that will help.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your good work, everybody.
Thank you.
Schumer and Hochul surveyed the Sheldrake River, which overflowed its banks once again during the latest storm. Earlier, during a news conference at the headquarters of Mamaroneck's fire department, in addition to emphasizing the importance of getting swift government aid to businesses and residents throughout the Westchester area affected by the storms, there were pledges to finally get the federal government to move on a flood control project for the Sheldrake and Mamaroneck rivers that had been stalled for years.
There have been far too many times that Mamaroneck has been beaten and battered by storms, only to have the federal bureaucracy leave them hanging out to dry. This must stop. We need the federal government to once and for all rectify this issue so we don't have to go through what we went through the last 2 days again and again and again. We had Hurricanes Irene, Hurricane Lee, Hurricane Sandy, and now Ida. So this isn't the first or second time. Though the study was completed and we successfully fought for construction to be authorized, and it was in the 2018 Water Infrastructure Act. I put it in there with Senator Gillibrand's help. The Trump administration, in another one of their vicious moves, because it was anti-New York, decided not to move forward with construction of this long overdue process because of the arbitrary and bureaucratic excuses used by the OMB, the Office of Management and Budget. They disregarded the loss of human life here. They disregarded the destruction to the village, the cost to the village and the taxpayers, the cost to the small business people. They just said no. They let many other projects in other areas go forward.
Mother Nature sounds like nice, and Mother Nature is like nice and nurturing and caring. Well, Mother Nature had a really bad night the other night. And because she was so angry, we are still in the throes of a cleanup where lives have been devastated, property demolished. And I want to thank, and my heart goes out to the first responders here representing those all over the state of New York. They teamed up with our state police to literally save people from the raging waters that had turned their streets into rivers, and it was a horrific situation. The future of climate change is right now. It's happening, we feel it, and we're experiencing the aftermath this week.
We have to recognize this is not the end. This is just the next big storm. And this country is being devastated from flooding, from tornadoes, from wildfires. This is the impact of global climate change on our new normal. And it is devastating. It is heartbreaking. It is deadly.
We are living in the middle of a climate catastrophe. We are living it, and we are seeing the results of it across this country. And that is why part of my job is to strongly encourage my colleagues in Congress to go as big as possible as we talk about an infrastructure reconciliation plan.
There is the foreboding of every citizen whose house floods every time there's a rainstorm. People get nervous. People don't have the comfort of being safe in their own home. And they spent a lot of money on these homes, and they take care of them, and it's a beautiful community. But when you live with that stress constantly, it wears you down. This is even more important than just straightening out the problem of the river and the flooding. People have lost faith in government, and you know it, and I know it. When you go over to Halstead Manor and have a couple of drinks with the guys there, or you talk to the folks when they hang out and they talk about things, they've given up on government. They see Republicans and Democrats, and one level of government blames the other two levels of government, and everybody's about themselves. Everybody's got their photographer there to take pictures of them. And they don't think that this is about them anymore. It's about us. That's what they feel. And the only way we prove something different is by getting this done, by showing people that the plans become reality, that actually the repairs are made, and the next time a rainstorm happens, maybe not next week, because it could come next week, as the governor said, but when it happens, people say, yes, they responded. They finally did the thing. And until we do that, we're going to lose the most important battle, which is the belief that democracy works.